Hello, Professor Sun, Professor Boomhauer, and faculty for the Red Department. My name is Gerardo Ortega, and it is my honor to introduce myself and my fellow teammates Miguel Estrella and Kevin Bejarano and the amazing project we've had the pleasure of working on these last 2 quarters, with the culmination of the teaching and coursework from the amazing professors here at the Real Estate Development Program at UCSD. With that, let me be the one to open in talking about our affordable housing project, Alora. This development is all about creating a place where people at various income levels can truly thrive in Hillcrest. As we know, it is one of San Diego's premier neighborhoods filled with a vibrant, culturally rich aura. Located at 535 Robinson Avenue, our 100% affordable approach combines accessible housing with modern retail space, emphasizing walkability and green mobility. What sets Alora apart is the way it weaves together sustainability and community-driven design. We've aligned with Hillcrest's amendment plan, honing in on reducing car dependency, promoting inclusivity, and preserving the area's unique character. By leveraging low-income housing tax credits, or LIHTC, we can achieve affordable rents without sacrificing the project's need for long-term financial stability from our investors. Ultimately, Alora doesn't just bring new housing. It also contributes to Hillcrest's broader cultural tapestry by championing local businesses, celebrating the LGBTQ plus legacy, and fostering a healthier, greener, and more connected urban lifestyle. Let's talk a little about 535 Robinson Avenue and the greater Hillcrest area. As you can see, 535 Robinson Avenue is centrally located in the vibrant Hillcrest neighborhood of San Diego, California. Hillcrest is well known for its walkability, lively cultural scene, and plethora of dining and nightlife options. Our site is situated in a highly accessible area with quick access to Highway 163, multiple MTS bus routes, and walkable, bike-friendly streets, ensuring seamless connectivity to downtown San Diego, Mission Valley, and UC San Diego Medical Center. Hillcrest has a long-standing reputation for inclusivity, serving as a cultural hub with strong support for its LGBTQ community. This welcoming environment, combined with the area's vibrant commercial corridors and diverse population, makes 535 Robinson Avenue perfectly positioned to offer much-needed affordable housing while nicely integrating into the broader Hillcrest community and its rich history. Alora will be an up-and-coming, wellness-focused, mixed-use development in the heart of Hillcrest. It's designed to elevate urban living through smart design, sustainable mobility, and strong social connections. Alora embodies a place where people gather, grow, and thrive, embracing Hillcrest's inclusive spirit while setting a new benchmark for healthy, community-centered living. How we came up with Alora was actually quite lovely. We wanted our brand to appear as something simple, yet upon closer inspection, it was in fact something that had a powerful and noble meaning behind it. Alora is inspired by the meaning of light and future. We wanted to conceptualize a symbol and the name that will grow with our mission to create a development where people will grow their lives and their families, and most importantly, thrive in the community they'll create. Alora won't just be a place to live. It's a movement towards a brighter, healthier lifestyle. When we began conceptualizing Alora, our goal was to create a brand that appeared simple on the surface, yet carried a deeply meaningful purpose. Alora is inspired by the concept of light and future, reflecting our desire to build a place where individuals and families can truly thrive. And staying true to that vision, we focused on affordability, economic opportunity, and a wellness-oriented environment, one that aligns closely with Hillcrest's inclusive nature. Alora isn't just a new development. It's a commitment to a brighter, healthier future for everyone who calls this community someday home. Our plan for the future is to work hand in hand with the Hillcrest community to ensure our investment remains long-term, inclusive, and sustainable. We're aligning closely with the Hillcrest Focus Plan Amendment and the Complete Communities goals by committing to 100% affordable housing, sustainable urban design, and local economic activation. This includes collaborating with the LGBTQ organizations and small businesses in the area, expanding bike-friendly infrastructure, and implementing green building practices. We believe these efforts will shape Hillcrest's identity for years to come, enhancing the neighborhood's vibrancy while preserving its unique cultural legacy. And now, I'll pass the floor to my colleague Kevin, who will detail the demographic overview that drives our strategy.
Thank you, and we'll take it over here at the demographic overview. with a median household income increased from 72,000 to 662 in 2019 to 77,848 in 2022. We also see a 2.5 compound annual growth rate in renter occupied from 2019, 18,150, 2022, 19,567. And then we see an age distribution shift, increase in the 25 to 44 age bracket. And the racial competition is predominantly white, 74%, with significant Hispanic Latino, 14%, Asian 8%, and Black at 4%. And we'll continue through the next slide.
Excellent presentation, Kevin. Now let's take a look at Hillcrest with a standard SWOT analysis to emphasize what it has going for it. It's near downtown in Balboa Park. It hosts vibrant festivals and events and boasts a well-known cultural scene, particularly, of course, for the LGBTQ+ character that it's known and loved for. But like many neighborhoods, affordability and congestion can create real hurdles, especially for small businesses and long-term residents. At the same time, there's a growing appetite for more inclusive development and improving transit options. By positioning Alora to address these needs, especially in terms of affordability and community-focused designs, we're aiming to build on Hillcrest's strengths while helping mitigate threats like overcrowding and gentrification. Essentially, our strategy is to embrace Hillcrest's cultural legacy, support local businesses, and ensure that growth doesn't come at the expense of its unique community character and the residents who help build it.
So we'll take a look at tenant profiles and commercial vision. Take a look at the first graph, housing occupancy. Renter occupied households is at 67%, with the owner occupied household 33%. The 67% of households are renter occupied, highlighting strong demand for well-designed, affordable rental housing. Take a look at the bottom left-hand chart, population by age. The largest age groups is 25 to 44, make up 38% of residents, reinforcing the need for modern, community-driven living. 46% of housing consists of multi-unit buildings that support the viability of Alora's mid-rise development. Just take a look at the chart or graph, the housing type. So we continue with the next slide, regulatory framework. The highest level developments permitted in Hillcrest due to the parcel's land use category, estimated to serve within the 3 to 6 miles. Numbers highlight mixed use, which includes housing and a wide range of commercial use, from retail to offices and services. Take a look here. The community commercial zoning is a CC 310, tier 2, with a max height of none. Development considerations: multi-purpose structures that combine office, retail, and residential areas are permitted by the zoning. Converting vacant lots, older buildings, or low-density properties into higher value developments. Zoning allows for a no height limit and can be great for high density. So the next slide is sidewalk, setback, and space allocation. Here's a quick rundown of the space allocation information. The sidewalk and setback totals 13,694 square feet. Actual total square footage 56,000 square feet for the entire lot. The building zone distribution is a retail 1 to a retail 6. Green space, parking, Alora common space, and sidewalk. Here are lot to property ratios. The lot property 77.8%, which is a 46,453 square feet. Lot to building is a 62.2%, 31,550 square feet. Lot to green space 15.6, 8,732 square feet, and the optimal sidewalk lengths. So building land overview is a lot, as a quick rundown on lot, square feet, and ratios. Take a look at. So here's the plan that we had designed for Alora. The green space in the front, retails on the side, seats 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the tenants. We have the common space and leasing office is going to be in the middle for all apartments, and this is a parking and bike storage underneath. Here's a quick rundown of the retail, the square footage for each tenant, green space, parking, bike, Alora common space, sidewalks, and setbacks, which gives us a total of 56,000 square feet. And then we'll continue with the next slide. For the mobility, here we try to optimize the take out the car-centric out of Alora. So Hillcrest prioritizes pedestrian safety, mixed-use mobility, and expanded public transportation, reduce automobile dependence. So here, as you can take a look at the graph right here, we have project site, walkways, bus routes, each bus route leading down the project site, which would be convenient to get in and out. We're trying to minimize car use. There will be shared bike routes, and the creation of safer bike lanes are essential to persuade Hillcrest inhabitants to utilize other modes of transportation. And then here's the mobility for Plant Hillcrest. Here's what they're trying to optimize. Try to make it walkability through improved streetscape and safer pedestrian zones, which we intend to prioritize these in Alora with the bike storage and walking, making a mixed-use development. So for the target community benefits, low moderate income residents, we're trying to create 342 affordable housing units for 30% to 60% AMA households. Ensures housing stability for essential workers, young professionals, and low-income families. Benchmark goals: 100% affordability, below 60% MI rental levels, utilization of LIHTC, HUD, and state grants, which we'll get into details later throughout the slide. So we're intending to create 31,500 square feet of retail space, focused on locally owned businesses, with job creation of 200 construction jobs, 50 permanent jobs, and 50% plus retail lease to local businesses, increased tax revenue and economic growth for Alora, for the Hillcrest community. And then public spaces and cultural preservation efforts, LGBTQ plus inclusive business prioritized for leasing. And then the goals of 24,500 square feet of public space for events and art illustrations, the 5+ annual community events supporting LGBTQ plus initiatives, walkability, and transit proximity. So here's a visual representation of Hillcrest. It's primarily due to extensive LGBTQ plus heritage. Hillcrest is renowned for being lively and unique. Since the neighborhood is distinct from other parts of San Diego, its features ought to be preserved while new construction is taking place in the Hillcrest neighborhood. And we should emphasize mixed-use development, areas of socializing, and amenities. So here's a quick sketch of the photos and then the unique features about Hillcrest. What you see throughout is the Welcome to Hillcrest sign showing the Pride Heart. And here are some of the famous locations in Hillcrest and that are near the site. So the architectural design and features are unique. This is our SketchUp 3D model. It's a vibrant, modern, 10-story mid-rise affordable housing complex. And we try to center with the idea of the rendering. If you see to the right here, we try to mirror it as much as we could as possible. The building has a sleek architectural design with modern windows, rooftop gardens, health-focused commercial spaces like yoga studios, and organic cafes. At the top right here, we added a unique feature of adding the LGBTQ pride flag, and it's a symbol for the community of Hillcrest. So the next slide is SketchUp designs. The first photo on the top left is the facing north side. This is where you see the open and community space. To the top right corner, you will see the west wing. This is where we have our bus stop. And then for the bottom left hand photo, you will see our parking entrance where the cars will come in and out, with another bus stop the corner. And then the bottom right hand photo is our S wing, where you see a vibrant community of Hillcrest and Alora.
Okay, so how does LIHTC funding work? LIHTC funding stands for Low Income Tax Credits, and this is a program that helps developers build affordable housing by offering tax credits as an incentive, and developers sell these tax credits to investors, raising equity and reducing the need for loans. So what we see here is that we have to basically determine how much the residential aspect of our property will cost to develop. And here we see that the residential hard cost around 180 million and soft cost about 34. And so we take this and we now have a qualified basis for our LIHTC funding, for our LIHTC credits. And basically what the government says is that at the end of 10 years, we will give you this amount by either a 9% rate or 4% rate annually. So that 215, 9% of that, that'll be around $20 million, let's say. And so the way we would use that to help our funding is basically we could sell these tax credits to banks, to private investors who want these tax credits more allocated accurately for whatever discounts they need, and they would trade that for cents on the dollar. So here we say that tax credits are worth 85 cents per dollar here in West California, and so we would sell them for that rate, and we would get all of that money up front while still meeting the LIHTC requirements, which would involve certain setbacks and certain affordability and environmental and eco-friendly measurements. So yeah, LIHTC covers, I think, around 46% of the capital stack, which helps a lot with leveraging loan amounts. So here we have our 10-year cash flow analysis, in which we see that the first few years we are going to be under construction and development, and we don't really start generating profits until year 4. And the way we compensate for this is obviously through the tax credits, and also we do ask for capital calls. So actually we do only have an initial investment around $1 million for our partners, but we do ask for more capital calls, which we do factor in, and we determine that through our front-loaded cash flow, which basically takes all our capital calls and our initial investment and just rolls them up at the beginning. That way we have a more simplified view of how much investors are expecting to invest year 0. And then from here we can see that we start generating profits year 5, with our main cash out being year 10 and when we do the sale. And that is basically how the structure is of this project, where it's not really cash flow heavy, but at the sale you do get a lot of profit, and we'll go over that later. So here's an overview of our construction costs, in which we will have 1 floor of subterranean parking with 9 floors of residential living and 1 floor of commercial/retail. And on top of that, we also wanted to have a LEED certification bonus, and we chose the platinum level to get that certification, which will add around $33 million to our expenses. But we also did factor in that is a more valuable property at the end of the sale, in which we accrued a certain factor for how profitable it was at the end. And here we have the soft costs, which are around 17% of our hard costs, in which we also did include our direct impact fee, which we are not necessarily paying a lot based on the massing of our building, and that's due to us having 100% affordable housing at a 60% AMI rate, and so that discounts us from having a lot of fees that normally we would have. And here we just have a construction lease schedule of everything. And I just want to mention how we are expecting to do 10 years, and we have we're expecting around 2 years of development for the vertical construction, and lease to stabilization in around 1.5 years. And here we can see some of the unit mixes, in which we have studios, 2 bedrooms, 1 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms. And these are just renderings of potential unit layouts with a modern twist to them. Nothing too crazy, but obviously some nice living areas with good amenities and an overall simplistic view. So here are the unit sizes for our multifamily project, and I would consider our building more mid-rise level on average, but in Hillcrest we are one of the tallest buildings at 10 floors. I believe there are a few condos and other apartment complexes that are similar in heights, but we just wanted to take the safer route and call it a high-rise building. And our unit breakdown by a 2% inflation rate here would determine that our rates are very below market at a 60% AMI rate. And we can see that here with our studio 1-bed, a 2-bed, and 3-bed prices going into Q4 of 2025. Once again, we wanted to determine exactly what type of construction we are doing for a project, and what we found was the best fit for us was to do type 1 for the bottom 3 floors as the podium, with type 3 of 7 floors above that. So that would be a total of 10 floors, 3 floors of type 1, 7 floors of type 3. And this is just to account for the most efficient ways to build while also keeping our expenses down. So here we have some of the community benefits and energy efficiency that our property will include. So here we have solar energy, and we also have green spaces emphasized. When we looked at the property, we did see some beautiful views and great sun exposure from the north side on Robinson near the other retail buildings. And we thought we could capitalize on that by making, instead of a parking lot there like the right hand, green space, a park-esque and communal area in which people could come in at any time of the day because the sun rises and sets there with no blockage from any commercial buildings, since it is rising from east to west. And so it's a perfect spot. And then right next to it you have our very beautiful building in which you can shop around the retail center or explore any of the other beautiful areas of Hillcrest. And here we have our general and financial assumptions. Some key ones here is that we're expecting to purchase the lot for around $25 million. And we are factoring in around 2.4 to 2.1 growth rates and 2.7 vacancy rates. Just for our assumptions here, just trying to keep it safe. These are accurate to what we found on CoStar, and these should be up to date. So for our loan assumptions, for construction financing, we are assuming an interest-only loan for 7.95% for 36 months with a 70% loan-to-cost ratio. For a permanent loan, we are assuming a 5.68% interest for 30 years with a 56% loan-to-value ratio, and this is to get the 1.2 debt coverage ratio that is required. So here we have our investment classes and LP returns. As you can see, we have 3 classes, each with differing IRRs and returns, and this is to incentivize investing more with us with different minimums from 5 million to all the way to 500,000 in the respective classes. And we can see here that we differ also in preferred returns for each class, and we also have different IRR hurdles and sale profit splits. So here we have our key financial metric summary, which is always awesome to talk about. Let's see how much money our investors are going to make. And here we have a more refined view of what the investments are and the returns are. So you can see the minimums here, which is 5 million, 1 million, and 750,000 respectively. But like I mentioned, the other slide is actually 500,000. This is just a sample of like if you invested 750,000 and what return you would get for that. And so here we see that our NOI for year 11 will be around 7 million, which will lead to a value of around 147 million. And with our LEED certification multiple, we're assuming that'll boost our sales projections a decent amount. And so we can determine our IRR to be around 70.5% and front-loaded IRR to be around 13.6% with around $72 million in profit and 3.16 equity multiple.
All in all, we believe Alora is something truly special. Our goal was straightforward: bring a genuinely attainable opportunity to Hillcrest, one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the county, while honoring its vibrant culture and character with Hillcrest's proximity to downtown, unique local businesses, and welcoming community. It's an ideal but often out-of-reach place to call home for many. By creating a 100% affordable housing development, we're helping to bridge that gap, delivering both short-term returns and long-term resiliences to address a very real housing need. Looking ahead, we remain committed to collaborating with stakeholders, adapting to changing market conditions, and ensuring benefits for investors and residents and the broader community alike. We've tackled the tough challenge ahead on and arrived at a solution that balances modest profitability with a powerful people-centered mission. We invite you to invest in a venture that will make a meaningful impact and support lasting success in this wonderful neighborhood. Thank you for joining us.